Hello and selamat datang to the next video. Today we're going to try to make silken tofu and chickpea. Oh, and just a sign of the day, I've managed to somehow break the can. I already made a mistake in any case because I was actually supposed to use dried chickpea, but I was a bit lazy and wanted a shortcut method, so I chose instead canned chickpeas for this silken tofu. And immediately after, when I was reading through the recipe to fine tune and prepare, I realized that I made a mistake in that, because then it's in the cooking and the drying of the cooking and the of the raw chickpeas that the starch is supposed to be released. I hope to mitigate this via a couple of options. First, as you can see, I'm going to use the liquid in the chickpeas. They call it aquafaba. This is a bit of a magic thickening solution. So I hope that will add back the starch that I'm missing. I'll need to add more liquid as well, but that also means I'll need to add some potato starch, which I probably will only know when I'm cooking it. So this will be a real interesting experience. So yeah, not boring for sure. So stick with me while I do this. First up, chickpeas in. At this point, I will need to add some water. The liquid ratio is the uncertainty part because of the amount of starch that I will need. But in general, it was, you can see I'm at 460, 400, something in the range of 400 for this. So I should probably add, I'll just go with a rough guesstimate, or the official ratio was 1 to 3. So I'm just going to go with about 100 ml water and hope it, well, like I said, we will thicken it if it doesn't turn out, because then that is the idea, to then try and get back the starch to form the tofu. So I'm going to blend this and then let's see what happens. So let's go and you need it to be relatively fine. You need it. The finer blending would be best, but let's see. It seems we have to. Okay, so that's done and blended. Now we're just going to, pour it out and strain it out. Yeah, that looks good enough. I don't have a cloth mesh, so I'm just going to use the finest metal sieve that I have, but that means it's going to take a while. Trying to look for a little spoon that we can use for this. So I'm squeezing out as much water out as I can, as you can see, because I know in the standard way of making it, it's probably, you don't need to be so thorough about squeezing water out, but as I said, excuse me, since I'm making it with chickpeas, the ratio is probably a bit more problematic, so I'm just going to squeeze as much as I can out of this. Nothing goes to waste. I'm gonna cook like some sort of patty with this later anyway. I'll stir fry this, so nothing goes to waste for sure. But yeah, bear with me as we then figure out how to add the starch and what ratio that we're gonna stick with. we're going to heat this up on medium heat after I manage to squeeze as much as I can out of this. So, yep, I'm letting the final parts drip. Too lazy to squeeze it too much, but I'm going to heat this on a medium heat, or medium-ish, and then we're trying to see if we can get the texture we're looking for. I mean, if you look at it already, it's not bad, I would say. Let's see if we can get it to stick. Otherwise, we'll have to add flour. Which means, of course, the purists would argue it's less of a tofu at that point. But yeah, I mean, we're making it as we go. It was probably a bit of a trial and error on my side, but yeah, we'll fix it, and let's see what we end up with. I chose potato starch because of the softer texture it gives. I know, as in the past, I've also made tofu pho using gelatin, so I know gelatin is also an option if you want, but I would probably go on the side of error and use potato starch instead, because with gelatin, yeah, it gets to be a bit too hard sometimes. I also forgot to mention that this time it's probably a good idea to add the salt. If you're making a more savory type, you should probably put your seasonings as well. As I'm trying to see if it will also be a good tofu pho substitute, I'll just leave salt in there. And yeah, next time if I'm making more like an egg tofu kind of thing, then I will add the seasonings here as well. But yeah, it's you put in the seasonings at this point to give it the flavor, but it depends again on what you want to use with it, so it's up to you. I'm thinking of making like more like a Cantonese rice gravy dish with this tofu later, so in theory I could have added other seasonings as well, but like I said, I want to test the pudding consistency. So we got it thickened, and I think it's the right type of thickness. Yeah, I don't mind the lumps. I got a bit panicky towards the end because I wasn't sure if it was thick enough. Now I know it's thick enough. So I'm gonna try and strain out the lumps. Yeah, that was a bit of a rookie mistake on my side, but it's okay. Yeah, so you guys know what to do, what not to do. So basically I'm just going to filter it out here and set it into a mold. I'm just going to use this so it's easy, and then hope that it doesn't coagulate too much in the amount of time I'm taking to do this. But yeah, I'm just going to strain it, and this should be ready for setting already. As you can see, the thickness should be there. I added a bit more starch because I've been literally adding water to it. Final ratios will have to be a bit or more of an agak-agak, but basically you want to get this type of sticky texture so that it's able to coagulate, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm just going to finish up the last ones, and then let's come back. So let's look at the result. This one I think came out reasonably well. I'm quite happy. Jiggly. It's got form. This should be okay. I'm gonna let this sit and see what happens. I'm curious to see how that turns out. And the leftover stuff, which is not much, I'm gonna make into a little, fritter or something, and pan fry this, so nothing goes to waste. Yeah, let's see what we end up with the result. So, now that that's done, it's been almost an hour and a half, or thereabouts. I've let it finish up. I'm letting it finish up setting in the fridge, the freezer, so let's hope that turns out okay. We will see in a short while. Meantime, I'm going to get ready the gravy stock, the gravy for the dish. I've got rice already cooked. So I'm just going to start with mushrooms. I'm just going to brown them off. So to answer the question, what happens if you use chickpeas from the can? Yeah, I put the whole thing down and it just plopped out and it didn't form. It was thick enough, but somehow the starch didn't form, so it plopped out the whole thing and left a mess. Well, I'm now trying to see if I can set it in the oven, but I'm not confident of that. So you know the answer now. The good thing is I've got the other stuffs in my gravy going in, so I'll be able to finish this without needing that. Yeah. And maybe we'll make another recipe on this again, but let me just finish with this then, and at least give you a recipe to show for the work. So I've got my vegetables which I'm gonna put in. As you can see, a bit of the mess from where the chickpeas tofu used to be, and that kind of answers the question of whether you can use, but I found that super last minute, so that was my mistake. We learn. Do you guys made mistakes like that? They're an interesting story to listen to. But yeah, we all make mistakes, and as I said before, I'm not shy about putting it out, so that's okay. In any case, I'm gonna finish up my gravy while I see if I can resurrect the tofu, and let's see how that goes in a couple of minutes. So, just to finish up, they've been cooking. I'm gonna put the slurry mixture in now. Yeah, I've got prawns, I've got fish balls to replace the lost protein. But yeah, see if you can spot the homemade fish ball there. There's all homemade. That's the part of the trick, I guess. But yeah, this was a previous batch with pangas. And this was my most recent video with the pollock, and you can see they hold the firm, they hold the shape. Yeah, it works. So just doing a little bit of promotion for that video. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch it. In the meantime, I'll come back with a fixed version of this. Hopefully, if I can actually fix the chickpea tofu. I'm sure it can be done. I just made a mistake in not reading the instructions properly. But yeah, I'm just going to finish this up. I'll add some eggs, so it'll be sort of a proper Kung Fu Chao type of sauce texture in a short while. Scoop this out for my wife, so it doesn't get mixed up. And then we'll have one for the non-vegetarian version. So I'm just going to scoop one up. Yep, that I would do. Scoop this up and take it out. Yes, vegetarian, but I cooked it with some prawns and all. Yeah, my wife's not that fussy, so that works. But yeah, probably not a good option if you're serving a pure vegetarian. But yeah, okay, and I'm going to add my eggs now. And this is almost done. I was wondering how many eggs. Let's start with one first. I think one would be enough. We don't have too much sauce after all. But let's see. Then we give it the fold. And that's it. A very simple sauce. Yeah, let's come back with a part 2 with a better protein. In the meantime, I'm trying to see if I can save it, but I doubt it will be saved. So we've got the sauce ready for our food, and that's it for today. Like and subscribe if you want to see more failures. Just joking, but yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. But yeah, thank you for following me. Like and subscribe if this is interesting for you. See you in the next one. Bye. Jumpa makan. Jemput makan.